Hi. So how does one get to handle a rejection or, a disappointment or, like something that you wanted happen, but it didn't happen? How do you get to deal with that, you as an individual? Because I've got a way in which I do go about it. And I'm going to share some of my secrets on how I have evolved, like in terms of how I now personally get to handle disappointments or maybe rejections in life. So before I get into that, trust me, after you watch this video is going to be a game changer for you, because once you master what I'm about to share with you in this video, trust me, nobody will ever disappoint you again. Yes, I'll repeat that again. I say, once you master what I'm about to share with you in this video, nobody will ever disappoint you. You'll never feel like, no, I've been disappointed because of this and that. So before I get into that, I want to share one of Napoleon Hill's quotes. So there's something that he said that defeat may be a stepping stone or a stumbling block, depending on whether your attitude is positive or negative. I'll say that again. Defeat may be a stepping stone or a stumbling block, depending on whether your attitude is positive or negative. So there you go. That's Napoleon Hill for you. But getting into what I want to discuss tonight. When you talk about facing disappointments or facing a rejection, the first thing you need to understand about it is that it's not forever. Yeah, you need to establish that in your mindset first. When you face a rejection today, or when somebody disappoints you today, it's not like that's the end of the world. It's not like, oh no, now like life is crazy now, like all things have just fallen apart, like no. Trust me, no matter how big a disappointment is, no matter how big a rejection is, trust me, that thing did not come to stay. So the issue now is, how do you treat that situation? How do you respond? Because as we all know, that we will always be faced with people who will disappoint us in one or another, or who might reject us in one or another. But as far as we may not be able to control the behavior of people towards us, we have to be able to control how we respond to people. So that's where you have to begin from. So one of the things I've come to more like train myself is, in as much as I'm to expect good things from people, in as much as I have to always anticipate or always expect the good to come from people, I always leave room for a disappointment or anything like that. Because I understand that people, humans, are not perfect. I said humans are not perfect. God is perfect. Humans are not perfect. The only way a human being becomes perfect is when he becomes one spirit with God, who is perfect. That's why when you read the scriptures, when you read the Bible, we are perfect in Him. In Christ we are perfect. The perfection we have as God's children is in Him. It's because our lives are in Him, and He is in us. We are one spirit with Him. Outside Him, none of us would be perfect. So that's the first thing you need to establish. Humans are not perfect. They only become perfect when God is involved. So what did I say? Always leave room for that disappointment, and always be ready to handle a rejection or a disappointment. Never find yourself in that place where, like you're caught off guard. Always be guarded. I'm one person where before I start any relationship, I think long and hard. I don't just dive in like in a swimming pool or something. I take my time to assess the person, assess the nature of the relationship that I have with somebody, see if there's any unforeseen circumstances in the future that might actually leave me devastated or something like that. See how I can cope with such an individual. So what am I trying to say? Be ready for anything in any relationship. Don't be like that person whereby somebody wakes up today and they tell you, like, you know what, I'm done with you, then for you on that particular day, it's like all hell has broken loose. It should never come to that. Be that person where when she comes to you, she tells you, you know what, my brother, I think I'm done with you. You just look at her and smile and you move on. Be that kind of a person where she'll be shocked, like, I thought this guy would be devastated. I thought this guy would be hurt. So that is one side of it. So the other thing is you train your heart. Train your heart. You know, Proverbs 4 verse 23 says, guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. So everything, when you talk about emotions, being heartbroken and all these things are all centered in the emotions of the heart, like how really you have trained your heart. How do you deal with disappointments? It stems from the heart issue. So you can actually train your heart in such a way that no matter how much somebody disappoints you, you still find a way to move on without being distracted, without feeling so heartbroken and all that stuff. So that's how you handle rejection. That's how you handle rejection. And the other thing that I'll leave you as a bonus is the fact that when somebody rejects you, it's not that you are bad or you are valueless or you are, that thing, like mostly what makes people feel sad or go into depression and all that when they are rejected or disappointed is because they begin to feel or see less of themselves or look at themselves as maybe they are not worth it, or maybe they are not good looking, maybe they are not beautiful, maybe they are not handsome, maybe they are not good enough, stuff like that. So when it comes to that, trust me, it's always important to value yourself more. It's always important to never let how anybody out there treat you to make you think like you are anything less. Trust me, you are beautiful, you are handsome, you are good looking, you have what it takes. So when somebody rejects you or disappoints you, it's their loss, it's not your loss. Because you are special. You are the apple of God's eye. You are loved, you are treasured. This has been your boy S8 to the G Reloaded, and I'll see you in the next video.